As you all know, I made a request today for what we were calling a gag order, and I'm not going to walk out of court and do anything other than live up to that.
Federal sex trafficking and other charges, to all of which he's pleaded not guilty. There's no VIP section, there is no concierge, only conmen, killers, and kingpins. MDC is so bad, federal judges have questioned the harsh conditions for those here awaiting trial.
Diddy's current experience at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, in Brooklyn has been described as grim and challenging. He is reportedly being held in a special housing unit, often called the Hole, which is a small, windowless cell with very limited amenities. The facility itself has a reputation for poor conditions, with detainees often facing overcrowding, violence, and severe staffing shortages. Diddy is said to be sleeping on a concrete floor with only a thin mattress and avoiding food due to concerns about contamination and possible threats to his safety.
You have a substantial amount of money. Imagine if someone paid someone off on the inside to actually poison his food, give him a heart attack, and he dies. And no one would really think anything of it. So that may be one of the reasons he's not eating. He's really, really paranoid. He's really...
Donald Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, has spoken about the harsh realities of prison life, which can be an especially jarring experience for someone accustomed to luxury, like Diddy. According to Cohen, prison is a severe shock, and for some, it feels worse than a death sentence. Inmates are confined to a small 3-foot by 5-foot space with minimal comfort. The setup includes a desk, a plastic chair, a bed with a thin 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow, and a small locker. The overall conditions are stark, and the lack of basic comfort makes it a horrible, horrible place.
Donald Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, spent a harrowing year in federal custody. He says for someone used to a life of luxury like Diddy, prison life is a severe shock.
You have a desk, you have a plastic chair, you have your bed with a 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow, and you also have a locker. So you basically have 3 feet by 5 feet to move around.
No, he won't. What'll happen is that he's there for, his trial hasn't even started. The lawyers are talking about possibly having a trial with him later on, and that won't be until next year. MDC, I've heard the conditions are very difficult, but deplorable. As you said, the maggots, the mice. I had some friends that work there, so they tell me that the conditions are kind of horrible. MCC closed, so all the prisoners now are going into MDC, the federal prisons. But what happens is that after a while, when they get sentenced, they get moved. They get moved to prisons around the country. Now, from what I'm hearing today, and it could be true or not true, I heard that he might have been moved to Newark.
No,
and taken
really?
out of MTC because they may have had that application go in and it might have been granted to.
Former MDC Warden Cameron Lindsay has noted that Diddy's current situation could potentially worsen due to his high-profile status and the serious charges against him. Lindsay explained that famous individuals are often targeted in prison, with some inmates seeing attacks on celebrities as a badge of honor, which increases the risk of trouble for Diddy. Additionally, the overall conditions at MDC are described as horrific and very challenging, especially for someone awaiting trial. The facility offers limited access to outdoor recreation and basic amenities, contributing to an already stressful and difficult environment.
Say his fame makes him a target.
Yes, in my humble estimation, his life, his safety is in jeopardy in any correctional lockup right now. If it is true, as reported, that he is housed in the special housing unit, it's important to note that the special housing unit is a lockdown, 24-hour lockdown unit. The MDC Brooklyn is a high-rise. The vast majority of the floors are general population floors. But the special housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown facility. So this is for Mr. Combs' protection. His incredible worldwide celebrity combined with the allegations, the charges now, and indictment, of course, of acts of violence against women make him a very attractive target.
All
so
right.
obviously they need to say...
Dean Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, has voiced serious concerns about Diddy's mental health and safety in light of his current legal situation and confinement. Deal hinted that the intense stress of the situation, combined with the harsh conditions of prison life, could push Diddy toward contemplating self-destruction.
Puff always had a problem of listening to people that he thought that was less than him. And now he got to listen to people that got power over him, but never had as much as he had. He's going to have a big problem in the prison system. He's going to have a real big problem in the prison system, bro. And having to listen to those COs and having to listen to everybody that got more power than him now, from a person that had all the power in the world that we thought. Now, seems like the tables is turning. If these people have it this their way, he's gonna be spending the rest of his life in the prison system. He better hope that they want to make a deal, but I don't think so, or they want somebody else. He better hope, and he got something to offer them. Even if he got something to offer him, you gotta realize—
Former mobster Oris Spatto has also highlighted the challenging conditions at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, where he is being held. Spatto's description reveals a harsh environment filled with psychological stress and a lack of basic comforts.
It is worse than it was then, all right? But let me tell you about Essex County. Essex County. My friend says it's the worst in New Jersey. It's a very serious jail. People get beat up left and right. The Bloods and Muslims control everything there. He will be in PC, or he's going to have to pay. Now let me tell you, a guy like Diddy with money, they put him in general population, he's going to be paying a lot of people. A lot of families are going to be very happy because they're going to be getting monthly money from Diddy. Trust me on that there. All right? My friend said it was the worst spot, constant lockdowns, and the food was beyond disgusting. Now he said it was beyond disgusting there. He's saying that it was great at MDC when we were first there, and it was disgusting. All right? But he said it might be better for him because MDC is really fucking up now, and the MS-13 are controlling. From what I hear, MS-13 is now controlling MDC. These are folks, this is information that came from somebody who just got released and knows these prisons. So I don't know why this attorney wants to get him transferred from MDC to Essex. It's like from worse to worse. But anyways, that's their choice.
One of hip-hop's biggest moguls, Diddy now finds himself living in conditions described as hell on earth. Stripped of his power and under constant surveillance, this is his reality, not a movie, but his life right now.
New accuser went public with more accusations against the music mogul. Talia Graves claims in a civil lawsuit that Combs and a bodyguard drugged, bound, and raped her in 2001 and filmed the incident. Graves is represented by famed litigator Gloria Allred, who is no stranger to representing women in high-profile cases, okay? Here's a list. We're speaking of Gloria Allred here, okay? Here's a list of just some of the women she's represented in the past. Look at this list right here. O.J. Simpson trial, remember that Scott Peterson trial, Tiger Woods scandal, Bill Cosby scandal, Anthony Weiner, former representative out of New York. Remember that? All of that stuff happened. That's who she's represented. Allred represented Amber Frey, the girlfriend of Scott Peterson, who was convicted of killing his wife and unborn son, and most notably, she represented more than—
Happens when a celebrity accustomed to luxury and privilege is confined to one of the most notorious jails in the country. How does Sean Diddy Combs, a man who built his empire in the limelight, cope behind bars? Leaked information reveals chilling details about his day-to-day reality, prompting a closer look at the brutal conditions inside Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. This facility is infamous for housing high-profile inmates like Jeffrey Epstein and R. Kelly, but it is also widely condemned for its deplorable treatment of those incarcerated there.
Deal that the U.S. Attorney's Office can offer, and it's certainly not one that Diddy will accept. It would involve decades in federal prison. We're talking about mandatory minimum sentences of 10 years for both the drug charges and the sex trafficking. So we know that Diddy has fought charges before. There were state charges, there were gun-related, the nightclub shooting with J-Lo, but he's going to dig in his heels, and this case is going to trial. So if you're prosecutors, you really want to make sure that your evidence is bulletproof before you go down.
From daily psychological check-ins to reports of special treatment, conflicting stories create a complex picture of Diddy's time in custody. As we dig deeper, one question remains. Does his fame shield him from the horrors of the Metropolitan Detention Center? Or has it, in fact, made his experience even more challenging?
His desires, including his freak-offs. What a word that's become, honestly. And just to give you a little list of exactly what him and his employees got up to here, we've got sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotic offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Wow. Like, you know what? You're P. Diddy. You've got all the money in the world. You don't need to do any of this. But for some people, the more powerful they get, the more dark their imagination becomes, and the more they want to push the boundaries to do the craziest fucked up shit possible. And this is what happens when a psychopath gets this much power. Even those words coercion and enticement to engage in prostitution, it wasn't enough for him to get consenting, prostitutes who do this by trade. What a trade. Do you know what I mean? I don't remember that in my apprenticeship. But people who do this for a living anyway. It was fun for him to take people who would never ordinarily have been a prostitute into that so that they could become his toys. And by the sounds of it, P. Diddy and his employees would do whatever it took to get women into his inner circle to participate in whatever fucked up shit he was into. He would use threats. He would use intimidation. He would even use the offer of a romantic relationship, that lover boy method that Andrew Tate made.
The world watches Diddy's high-profile case unfold. Insider sources are leaking details that immerse us in the situation. On one hand, there are reports of a psychological team visiting Diddy multiple times a day. According to prison consultant Larry Levine, while Diddy isn't officially on suicide watch, his source indicates that routine checkups from mental health staff are being conducted. These visits are intended to monitor his adjustment to prison life. However, while these check-ins may seem reassuring, they also reveal the harsh reality of what it takes to cope in a place like the Metropolitan Detention Center.
These freak-offs purchased multiple hotel rooms for these freak-offs to take place, had his staff stock the rooms with different items, drugs, lube, extra sheets, things of that nature for the freak-off, didn't allow individuals to not participate in the freak off. And one of the ways that he did that was by using drugs in order to get them to a state of mind so that they would participate, or he would use the tapes as extortion to force them into these freak offs. And he did all of this for his own perverted, twisted benefit. I don't know if he was participating in these. I don't know if he was getting off to these videos that he was making. Who knows? This is crazy. I don't know how else to put it. It's crazy. It's terrible. The amount of people whose lives have been forever affected by this. I just want to know some more information, and I want to know who else is involved in this, because I have a feeling that this is going to be massive for the next 2, 3, 4 years and be.
Leaked video and contentious new claims have made headlines, and the story of Shadi Combs has taken a startling and dramatic turn that has captured the public's interest. The once respected music mogul company is now embroiled in a flurry of legal disputes, charges, and condemnations. Disclosures abound, and it appears the narrative thickens every day, keeping critics and fans riveted to their screens as they anticipate the next shocking revelation.
News tonight. Diddy hungry? Sean Combs apparently refusing jail food. Some say he's missing his private chef and convinced he will be poisoned. Because remember, it's all about him. Okay, it's not about his alleged sex trafficking victims. It's about him. He actually thinks someone might poison him behind bars. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you. I know he's in the MDC right now, but he better hide under his bed because Gloria Allred is up his tailpipe now. In the last hours, is there ever a moment that a lawyer who is used to talking for a living realizes, I should just shut up? Apparently not in some cases. In the last hours, TMZ, who is creating the downfall of Diddy on Tubi, our friend Harvey Levin, who created TMZ, sits down with Sean Combs's lawyer. I want you to hear what happened.
Back when I was a kid in the late 70s, they were called threesomes.
If these are genuinely threesomes, how do you explain 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
I don't know where the number 1,000 came.
The U.S. attorney said it.
I can't imagine it's thousands. I mean, you know, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way. I don't know what you need 1,000 for. I mean, he has a big house. He buys in bulk. You know, I think they have Costco's in every place where he has a home. I mean, have you sat in a parking lot of a Costco and see what people walk out of there with?
Not 1,000 bottles of baby.
In the most recent development, according to reports, Diddy's lawyer was taken aback when fresh video footage connected to Kim Porter, Diddy's former partner and the mother of 4 of his children, emerged. The video is believed to provide insight into previously unreported matters. Interview. The story started with a book called Kim's Lost Words, which purported to be based on Kim Porter's personal diary from another viewpoint. A Journey for Justice claims to disclose horrific elements of Porter's past, including allegations of abuse, coercion, and audience manipulation. After word of Diddy's arrest leaked, the book's discreet publication on Amazon became a global phenomenon. Amazon apparently took the book down shortly after, but by that time, the damage, or perhaps the truth, had already been revealed.
And we have the latest on Sean Diddy Combs' investigation as the hip-hop star fights racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. Well, investigators now working to determine who his co-conspirators were and whether they should be charged as well. TMZ is also reporting Diddy was placed on suicide watch at the detention center that he's being held at in New York, but his lawyer is saying he's not suicidal. This is just routine for high-profile inmates. Just this week, prosecutors say they served Combs' head of security with a search warrant for his electronic devices.
You can rest assured that the feds have already talked to the people who worked for Combs, and all of those people have already probably given statements.
Any worries about taking on Diddy's formidable legal staff were dismissed by Mitchell, who has been outspoken and unafraid in her approach. She said on live television, "I keep 2 straps on me," alluding to her sense of security and readiness. Her unwavering confidence has made her a pivotal character in this developing drama, as she promises to seek justice for Kim Porter and others whom Diddy is accused.
If I was to release those tapes, the world would shut down, okay? If I showed one of these tapes, I'm telling you right now, the whole music industry and Hollywood, it would just grind down like this. They're all gonna start pointing at each other like this, and it's gonna be bad.
Oh, it's gonna get bad, all right. Welcome to Popcorn Planet's Diddygate coverage. I'm Andy Signor, and there's been a lot of talk about this alleged memoir from Kim Porter. Her family is now deeming that it's fake. Diddy's own lawyer saying it's shameless, it's a scam. Amazon has actually pulled it because of Sean Combs' kids saying that it's fake. But now the author has gone and broken his silence and done an interview with The Art of the Dialogue. And it's pretty damning, guys. It's pretty fascinating. Now, look, I'd love to get this guy on the show. We are trying our best. This is the author. His name is Chris Todd, and he's here talking about a lot. We're going to go through some of these clips, and we're going to break this down even further in our live later today. There's also Jaguar White right out there doing a lot of stuff. We got so many updates, guys. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed. Hit that bell for all alerts. Smash that all so you get notified. And when you get notified, hit that like and leave a comment down below. Helps get these videos in the algorithm, and it's important we get this stuff out there. Now, do I believe this guy? I don't know what to believe, but man, Art of the Dialogue, the guy who's interviewing here does not. He gets extremely defensive. It's kind of a hard watch. I'd love to have Chris on, and we're reaching out to him. Chris, come on the show. I want to play some of these clips, though, so you can get a gauge of what you think about this guy and is the author of this book, Does he sound legit? Here's some clips. Here's Will and Jada mentioned.
Can you explain how the alleged memoir portrays the nature of Kim Porter's relationship with Diddy? Was an open relationship mentioned in the book verified by any source close to them?
About their sex life?
An open relationship.
Means a sex life. Yes, we have sources, and multiple sources said they had an open relationship, yes. She says it too, so I'm going by what she's saying. She's saying they do.
And
that they have threesomes with multiple celebrities. They're listed in the book. So yes. Am I going to go to Will Smith and Jada and ask them that? No, I'm not.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So.
Am I going to ask Jamie Foxx that?
Could you pull that up for me? I want to show you something.
Sure.
Now, again, you got to remember, this is a book that he got allegedly through a thumb drive, a USB drive stick that has not only Kim Porter's alleged diaries, but tapes and evidence. And he was given this after Kim's passing in a way to sort of get the truth out there by others. That's ultimately what this is about. Now, this guy's written some other books, other crime stories, etc., and that's ultimately, I guess, why he was selected. It's still a little confusing to me, but here's some more. Will Smith coming up again.
These are serious